During the 3rd century of the Christian era, the pagan Roman Emperor Claudius II gained the title Germanicus for his military campaigns against the Germans. To keep up the supply of fresh troops for the front lines, he issued an edict forbidding men from marrying because a newly married man was exempt, for a time, from military service. This presented a difficulty for Christian men who respected biblical teachings that say that sex belongs in marriage. There is a legend that during this time there lived a faithful priest who, defying the edict, married Christian couples and aided Christians who were being persecuted by the emperor. Both acts were considered serious crimes. The emperor had him arrested, commanding him to renounce his faith in Christ or be beaten with clubs and beheaded. He refused to renounce his faith and was executed outside the Flaminian Gate of Rome on February 14th, 269. His name was Valentine. Saint Valentine, as he came to be known, became associated with marital love, and his feast day on the liturgical calendar of the Church became the secular holiday called Valentine's Day. Today it is celebrated with chocolates, flowers, balloons, the exchanging of mass-produced greeting cards, and engagements. We seem to have remembered the part about betrothal and forgotten the parts about beatings and beheading. Just as with many other holidays, we have kept the outward symbolism and forgotten the inner meaning. Case in point, I recently heard an elected official talk about how wonderful Hanukkah is because it celebrates light. Indeed, there are candles, and the symbol of this holiday is the menorah. However, this politician seemed to be completely oblivious to the actual meaning of Hanukkah. Hanukkah, celebrated by Jews in December, remembers the time when the Jewish people overthrew a despotic king who was infringing upon their freedom of religion by demanding that the Jewish people engage in the worship of a pagan god in their own temple. When they went to rededicate the temple to God, they only had enough oil for the lamps for a single day. But somehow, miraculously, the oil lasted for 8 days. Far from being a simple celebration of light, Hanukkah is about having radical faith in the God who provides. It is about having courage, fighting for what you believe in, and overthrowing corrupt rulers. It reminds those who practice it that the state is not the ultimate reality. There are dimensions of our lives that it is not the government's place to regulate or control. Our obligations to God transcend our obligations to the state. It was for the same convictions that Dietrich Bonhoeffer stood up against the Nazis and against corrupt church leaders who were complacent, and indeed complicit, with their crimes. Likewise, Richard Wurmbrand was doing the same thing when he continued to preach, baptize, and administer communion in defiance of the communists in Romania in 1948. Although we are uncertain of the historical accuracy of the legend of St. Valentine, I would submit that even if the legend is a myth, it is a myth born out of the yearnings of a people who longed to be free to practice their faith without intrusion by the government, people who believed that there are, and of right ought to be, limits on the power of the state. This Valentine's Day, take a brief pause from all the romantic stuff to remember the true meaning of this day.